Hi y'all, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Margaret Cooper Nygaard. This is No Recipe Necessary, and tonight for dinner we're making chicken barbecue, or barbecued chicken, however you want to say it. I recently had somebody ask me, do you only make fancy food? Well, no. I do a little bit of everything, and I always say I'm the queen of one pot wonders. Tonight for dinner, we're having barbecued chicken. This is a recipe I started out with years and years and years ago with the Joy of Cooking sauce for poultry. And I'm not real good about following recipes, so I tweaked it, I played with it, and what you're going to see is birthed from that. Let's just put it that way. So let's get the stove going. First I got to make the sauce, obviously. A little olive oil in. And now I've minced half of a Vidalia onion and the very inside 3 small stalks of celery. So it's got the leaves and everything on it. And yes, I do cheat. There's garlic out of a jar. Didn't mince it. Oh, about a clove's worth. And now I'm just going to sweat this down till the onion is translucent before I start adding other things to it. That'll keep the onions from being bitter. And the other thing to do to keep your sauce from turning bitter is I'll start cooking the chicken first, before I put the sauce on it, if that makes sense. You don't want to have the sauce on it for anything but the last 15 minutes on the grill. Otherwise it burns and it gets real bitter and totally ruins your chicken. I've also got, this is that wonderful time of the year here in Maryland, which is sweet corn season. So we're going to have some sweet corn from our local farm, Thanksgiving Farms. We're going to throw that on the grill. Yeah, it'll be a good dinner. We'll be back. Now the next step is basically throw everything but the kitchen sink in it. And it's all jarred stuff. I'm not making any of this from scratch. So some Worcestershire sauce, a couple of tablespoons worth. Some lemon juice. I'm using key lime bottled juice that I use for a bunch of different stuff. A couple of tablespoons of that. A little bit of vinegar. Gives it that nice bite. Just a couple of teaspoons. Some tomato ketchup. It's about a cup altogether you want of this. Of the ketchup, that is. Because you need some heat, some Sriracha. Counteract that, a little maple syrup. And some prepared mustard. This is a little tiny jar from vacation, so getting it out of there is going to be interesting. And now while that slowly heats and combines, I'm just going to quick do a taste test to see where I am on my seasoning. And then I can go and work on the rest of dinner while that cooks and gets ready to go on to the bird. That's going to be good. Got a little bit of heat, a little sweet. That should be yummy. So we'll let that cook. In about half an hour, it'll be ready to paint on the bird. All right, it's time to get stuff ready to go on the grill. So first, to roast my corn on the grill, what I like to do is do them in a foil packet. So I got almost a stick of butter. It's not even close to that. It's about half a stick of butter. I'm adding some fresh ground pepper, a little salt, and when it's not August, I use fresh cilantro, but this time of the year, our cilantro bolted almost 2 months ago. So this is dried cilantro, but a little dried cilantro in there. I'm going to mash that together. And now in theory, and I've done it plenty of times, you can just smear it all over the ear of corn and then wrap it in the foil. But I've discovered the lazy person's way to do this, which is just smear it on the foil. And then there's my shucked corn. So I am going to wrap around the butter. Poked a hole through there, but that's all right. It'll get wrapped up. Another smear. And the second ear of corn. And now this will seal inside. It'll basically be perfectly buttered corn when it comes out with some seasoning, and I don't have to worry about it. The chicken I'm using today is boneless and skinless, which means it's going to be apt to stick to the grill. So what I've done is oil it. I rinsed it off, patted it dry with paper towels, and then rubbed olive oil all over it, and that'll help cut down on the stickiness. It'll still stick some, but it won't be too bad. So now we're going to go get the grill started. Be right back. Time for some barbecuing. All right, so I use a gas grill. I don't have the patience for charcoal, but you want to be able to hold your hand over it without it having to pull it back. At medium-low heat. It's a little hotter on this side, so turn it down a little bit. Cooler on that side. My grill's getting a little old. It's starting to act like it. That's better. All right. And since I have two different sizes of chicken, I'm going to put the breast on, give it several minutes, and then I'll add the little tenderloins probably about the time I turn it over the first time. So I'm going to cook it for about 10 minutes on each side before we start looking at sauce. And I'll keep an eye on that and see how it does. I've had to turn the heat down because it was getting kind of hot with the grill closed, but you can see they're not sticking. I'm very pleased about that. We'll go ahead and put the little tenderloins on here too. Try to leave room for my corn to go in this area. Almost 10 minutes, probably won't take that long before we need to start putting barbecue on it, sauce on it. All right. The chicken is ready to start saucing up. So first things first. Gonna put my corn on. I've flipped these little tenderloins. I'm going to go ahead and turn the chicken again, and this time start painting it with some sauce. I've set some of the sauce aside in a dish to spoon on at the table in case we want a little bit more sauce. And obviously I don't want sauce that I put onto semi-cooked chicken to cooked chicken. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to leave the grill open now because I don't want this to overcook. I don't want it to get too hot. So give it 5 or so minutes and I'll turn the corn, I'll turn the chicken, paint the other side. Dinner's about ready. Alright, so turn the corn, I'll flip the chicken and then paint the other side. It's leaking a little bit out of the butter, so it's spitting at me. And again, I'm going to leave this open so that it doesn't get too hot and doesn't scorch anything. And that's it. Next up, dinner. All right, time to get dinner on the table. So first with the corn. And some chicken. Now for a side dish, I just sliced up some fresh tomatoes, also from the farm. And dinner's ready. I hope you will subscribe and like, and I will see you soon. Y'all have a good evening. Try that again. I forgot to tell you, we're having our dinner with one of my favorite wines from Rockland's Farms, which is called Anna's Rosé, and it's a nice, good summer porch wine. It'll be a nice contrast to our barbecue chicken, corn on the cob, and fresh tomatoes. Y'all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll talk to you soon.